Hi all. This is Part-18. Hope everyone is doing good. In the last series of videos we saw the 34 rules of money. Now let's see the next set of rules in this video. Rule number 35, every bank has the right to create money out of thin air. If I would tell you that banks do create money, you probably won't believe me because the only bank that's allowed to create money is the fact. It's the source of the dollar and the only institution that has the right to that printing machine. However, the banking system works in such a way that every bank is allowed to create money to a certain degree based on how much people have deposited in that bank. Let's say you deposit $1,000 in a bank. What do you think the bank is going to do with that money? There is no point in keeping it. They wouldn't even be able to pay you your miserable 0.5%. So the bank lends your money to someone else who wants to buy a car, for example, or a house and collects interest, which often much higher than 0.5% that it pays you. An average credit card interest is 20%. That's literally dozens of times higher than what the bank pays you. The point is that the bank isn't going to tell you to whom it will lend your money. Whenever you check your account, the bank is going to show you that your money is still there in the bank. You can withdraw it whenever you want. So if your money is still there in the bank, where did the bank take the money to lend to someone else? That's known as fractional reserve banking. Banks are allowed to keep just 10% of the deposits and lend the rest. For every $1,000 you deposited in the bank, the bank creates another $900 and lends it to someone else, which brings the charitable amount to $1,900. The bank created $900 out of thin air. It's not as difficult as you might think, since they're just digits in the computer. Rule number 36. You can make money by borrowing money from banks and investing it elsewhere. In July 2012, Mark Zuckerberg financed his $6 million Palo Alto home that's 3 miles away from Facebook's headquarters with a 30-year mortgage. At that time, he was 28 years old and the world's 40th wealthiest person, worth an estimated $15.6 billion. The question is, why would you get into debt when you have billions of dollars and can easily afford it if he wanted? He could easily buy a dozen $6 million homes in cash without debiting. So why get a mortgage? It's free money. Sounds unreal. I understand who would give you free money when you're already a billionaire. I mean, why would anyone give anyone else free money unless it's charity? It all has to do with interest rates. So any money you can borrow is below inflation rate is considered free money. Zuckerberg's mortgage rate was just a little over 1%. If you do the math, the banks is the loser. Since the mortgage rate is below the inflation, you don't have to be the genius to do the math. For the sake of example, let's say you borrow $1 million at the rate of 1%. The average rate of return on a savings account is 2.4% before the pandemic. When we are talking about small amounts of money, this might not make sense because the difference isn't that big. However, when it comes to large sums, playing around with 1, 2 or 0.5% could potentially mean dozens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds. Let's see the next set of rules of money tomorrow. Stay tuned. Thank you. Signing off. Part-18. For details contact Part-18, Financial Service Professional, Golden Capital Services, LLC. 717-836-0414. info.goldencapitalservice@gmail.com